Sally up, and bring Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Bring Sally up, and bring Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Bring Sally up, and bring Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Bring Sally up, and bring Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Bring Sally up, and bring Sally down. Last done start, gotta tell the ground. Oh, Miss Lucy dead and gone, left me here to weep and moan.
One thing about cool about the Texas Hill Country, you can always find a new road. Always. Yeah, you might do the same road numerous times, but guess what? If all the roads start looking the same, you can always take them backwards. Sometimes it's good to do things from behind. I'm just letting you know, in case you didn't already know that. Guten Tag, everyone. It's your boy Bly here with IronCross-Racing, coming to you from the Texas Hill Country, out on another glorious morning. Today is Sunday, and I'm riding solo. Woo! Feels good to be outside. As I kind of mentioned, seems like lately, very much struggling to make it through the week, for the weekend, so I can go out and ride for a little bit. It's kind of a flip from what I used to do. I used to actually commute to work in the state that I lived in. Mainly because, well, for one, I like riding, but the other reason was because I got to work a lot faster. I lived in a state that you could lane split, and which was a blast, but it also cut down on your commute quite a bit. After I moved out here to Texas, lane splitting is not legal, and the drivers don't seem to respect motorcyclists as much as my previous state. So, pretty much occasionally ride into work, depending on the weather, but now it's kind of by flip. So before I used to commute into work and I never rode on the weekends, but now I'm riding pretty much on the weekends and not during the week, which, much to my chagrin, it's kind of a bummer. If it was up to me, I'd ride every day of the week, but depending on temps and, like I said, it's just traffic. Not being able to lane split, getting stuck in traffic, especially on air-cooled machine. Ooh, birdies, let's get them. Anyways, like I was saying, being on an air-cooled motorcycle, sitting in traffic, letting your engine overheat isn't necessarily ideal, especially unless you don't have any of the various cooling methods that you can add on to a Harley-Davidson, which I do not yet. Yeah, some of the aftermarket items that they have out there, love jugs, which are kind of a dual fans that kind of go behind the horn, blow air across the engine. They also have a fan made by Harley and a couple other people. I think Harley's the only really makes it, but it sits at the back cylinder and sucks air down. I think that's more for comfort. I don't know how well it does as far as cooling off the overall engine. And then they have various other oil cooling products and fans that you can put on the existing oil cooling system. So I'll be in the market for a few of those items, and once I get them, I'll bolt them on. Probably will start a build series at some point. I have put on a lot of things already onto the Silver Bullet and have not recorded it, primarily because there's lots of videos out there on how to do these various installs. But as I come to find out, there is also not a lot of videos for doing particular installs on the Road King for various things. So I will start to do the start filming me bolting on, cursing, looking for tools around the shop, videos for everybody's entertainment. If you have not already been able to figure out, English is my second language. No, I'm just kidding. But sometimes with these cheek pads in this darn helmet of mine, words come out a little not as intended. So bear with me if something sounds not quite right. So today I'm heading up to Blanco and then over to Wimberley. Wimberley is a town that looked kind of interesting on the map. It was recommended by somebody as being a point of interest. Reminded me a little bit of Bernie in regards to having a little downtown area with some shops, etc. So I'm gonna go check it out. Looked like there's a couple good places to snap some shots of the old Silver Bullet. and we're gonna go check it out. So one topic that's come to mind to discuss with you is that of new riders. So me and some of my friends have been discussing some of the topics that have been out there for a while now. It's nothing new. Mostly it deals with how to inspire the younger generation, millennials, etc., on getting out and riding motorcycles. Now, I grew up in a generation that grew up on bicycles. So for us, it was the bicycle was your key to freedom. If you wanted to go extend your range away from your house, any length of distance, then you would hop on your bike with your friends and you guys would go ride. So we rode miles all over town. I mean, lots of miles. I look back now, I'm like, God, for being as small as I was and the amount of miles that I rode, god damn. But, you know, I think right around Generation Y and going into millennials, it's like they just don't go out and spend that much time outdoors, which, you know, it's been discussed and it's kind of a known fact, but, and whether or not it's good or bad, that's, you know, times change. You know, unfortunately, things aren't going to stay the exact same way forever. But getting somebody that already knows that a two-wheel vehicle, the thrill of riding something on two wheels, being outside in the elements, and pretty much adding a motor to it and making it go real fast, it's an easy sell. You know, it's like, I'll take my money. But the millennials, you know, they just haven't really experienced that. So to them, you know, it's a little bit harder of a selling point. So I think, you know, I really think that if you ride motorcycles, it's kind of your duty. You said duty. It's kind of your duty as a motorcyclist to kind of inspire, mentor, sponsor, whatever you want to call it, you know, the next generation. Because this is very thrilling, you know, very fun, very, I mean, I've said it numerous times, this is just such a great experience. And it shouldn't be kept just to people that have discovered it. So, you know, with that being said, if you know somebody, if you ride motorcycles and you know, you have some people that are kind of thinking about it, you know, on the fence, they think it's too dangerous, you know, whatever, it's like, you know, help them out, you know, explain to them, maybe have them go for a ride with you, maybe hop on the back, you know, bust the nuts, you know. Oh, look at that shot. See, this whole panoramic here doesn't do justice, it seems like, when you're in a car. Way better when you're outside on the bike. Not to mention you can feel the temperatures, smells, sounds. It's just way better. So, now one thing I always say when I'm talking to people and trying to get them inspired about riding motorcycles, and you do have to take this into consideration, you know. Being successful riding a motorcycle takes a little bit of coordination, definitely some reflexes, you know, and just some common sense. So for me, the first thing I ask is, have you ridden a bike? How often have you ridden a bike? And when I say bike, I'm talking bicycle, you know. For me, you know, going from a bicycle, hopping on a motorcycle, it was pretty seamless. Besides learning some stuff with the clutch, shifting, you know, things of that nature, just some of the basics, taking it easy at first, you know, knowing to kind of slow down going into corners, and you can accelerate going out of corners, you know. It's so, like I was saying, you know, the transition from bicycle to motorcycle is a lot easier. But if somebody hasn't really ridden a bicycle all that much, or just ridden a bicycle occasionally, you know, the difference, you know, going from nothing to motorcycle is going to be quite substantial. So just, you know, it's going to take a little bit of effort on their part to want to learn. You know, crashing on a bicycle, which I had done countless times as a kid. Oh God, the scars that I got all over my body from eating it on a bicycle. Woo. But I was also doing all kinds of crazy stunts and tricks and wheelies and no hands and BMX and all, just everything. But, you know, so people start getting on motorcycles and start falling, dropping their bikes. I mean, it's going to hurt a little bit more. So, first thing I ask, have you ridden a bicycle? And so, depending on the answer, you know, I kind of take it from there. But the big thing is going out and taking some classes, taking the basic classes. Harley offers some in regards to you know, training classes for how to learn how to ride a motorcycle. I would take the basics, and I would also take the advanced classes. I would try to take as many classes as you can before you're actually going out and purchasing a motorcycle. Now, your first motorcycle, I would buy used. I'd buy something that's relatively small. I mean, and of course, people debate this all over the place, you know. You know, you're gonna outgrow it, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, okay, so you get something that's small that you're not gonna go out and technically kill yourself with, because people, you know, especially when they're young, you're indestructible, you're Superman, you've never been hurt. You know, you're gonna go out and do some stupid shit. So, and you're gonna push yourself too far, you're gonna try to keep up with your buddies that have been riding for years, maybe even decades, and you're gonna eat your, you know, you're gonna eat your shit, dude. You're gonna freaking fall on your face because you're not ready for that kind of riding. So get you something that's relatively small, and when I say small, I don't know. I mean, it depends on your body size, what you feel comfortable with. 250, 300, 400, 500. I mean, even a small 600 is probably would be pretty decent, depending on what it is exactly. Now, a 600 crotch rocket's gonna be a lot different than a 600 cruiser. 600 crotch rocket's actually gonna haul some serious ass. 650. I mean, those bikes are pretty quick. But if you get yourself on a 600 touring bike or some kind of a cruiser or something, whether it's metric or domestic, and that's gonna be extremely underpowered. So it might be a good fit. So it all depends on what kind of bike it is. So you go out and get yourself a relatively, and like I said, buy used, because the odds of you dropping the bike, doing something dumb, laying it down, whatever the case may be, is relatively high, especially in your first few years. Now this goes with anything. This goes for driving. You know, your chances of getting an accident driving a car are extremely high the first few years. Flying an airplane. You know, they say the first 40 hours after you put your 40 hours in to get your pilot's license, that they call that the death zone. That's when pilots usually end up lawn darting into the ground in that first 40 hours after they get their license. So it's always that beginning period. So what would you rather do? Would you rather go out and, you know, drop your $10,000 to $20,000 bike, or would you rather drop your, you know, $1,000 to $5,000 bike? I know what I would rather do. Make sure you always gear up. Make sure you got a helmet. I would recommend a full face. Pads as much as possible. One area that's kind of neglected when it comes to pads, and I've been riding for years, is on your legs. Some kind of shin/knee guards that kind of go underneath your jeans or whatever you want to look cool with. I mean, also get riding jeans of some sort, jeans that are lined with Kevlar, which kind of help, especially if you go sliding across the ground. Leathers are great depending on what kind of bike you're riding and how fast, you know, you should be riding that quick, especially in the beginning. But like I said, leathers are good depending on temperature, climate, etc. So what you should think about is, like, the guys who race motorcycles, what are they wearing, right? They got full leathers, a full helmet, they got crazy back protection, armor. You know, they'll take a spill doing 150 miles an hour and slide across the track, the infield. As long as they don't hit anything and nothing hits them, they get up and walk away. That's what all that protection is designed for. So like I was saying about the jeans, you know, they have jeans, they have khakis that look like Dickies, they got the Kevlar lining. Some of them usually come with pads, knee pads. Hands are important. I went down at very low speed, and the thing that got jacked up probably the most were my hands. And I had some perforated gloves on, and it just tore right through them. So that's one thing about gloves. It's like, you know, perforation's great, but if you get perforated on the top, cool. Make sure they're solid on the bottom. Might hold up a little bit better in a wreck. Yeah, so anyways, as I was saying, the upper body, most people focus on, but the legs, you know, your legs are exposed at bumper level, right? So, you know, one thing you got to think about is if you get hit by a car, you know, make sure you protect your legs as well, as much as you can. Yeah, so get geared up, get yourself a starter bike, and then go out and just start riding. Going out with friends is great. Going out solos probably might be better, just in regards so you're not having to feel like you're having to keep up, or, you know, you want to show off, etc. Once again, when you're young, you tend to want to do that a little bit more. I'm not saying when you get older that you stop doing that, but it can happen. Once you get yourself a starter bike, get geared up, go out and have some fun. Either go solo, go with your friends. Ooh, armadillo. So, as I was saying about sponsoring, mentoring, inspiring new motorcyclists, have that talk with them. Be honest. Trust me, the benefits, to me at least, far outweigh the risk. So I want to give a big shout out to my 4 subscribers. I do this for myself, but I also do it for you guys, my fans. I love you guys. So if you like my videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, go ahead and push that like button. Keep on coming back. My videos, I'm gonna try to do 1 video a week, starting off here. Do have another job, do have other commitments, but try to get a new video every Wednesday. That's gonna be my targeted release day. And like I said, try to give as much interesting content as I can. My little take on life, my little take on motorcycling, modifications that I'll be doing to the Silver Bullet. And please feel free to leave comments if there's anything you'd like me to talk about, answer a question. Got years of experience behind the bars, so feel free to ask away. Be more than happy to answer. And until next time, catch you guys later.